say you are with Southerners. I'm a Southerner. It's not my primary identification. My primary identification is with white European Christians, my community worldwide. But I mean, I'm still a Southerner, and I'm still, I still respect the South and am part of the South. And I go to some of these Southern meetings, and I see Southerners who have acquired the persona that their enemies have given to them. They dress up in overalls. They talk in exaggerated, clownish accents. They have book displays. They have books like White Trash Cooking. You know you're a redneck. And all kinds of things. Having the pink flamingos in the front yard and not being able to read and write. They, in a weird way, these Southerners have become Hollywood parodies. They have taken in all the abuse that has been heaped upon the South as the region which is most like the founding stock of the nation. They have allowed this to actually become what they are. I'm shocked at this. This is not my image of the South. This is not what my grandmother told me about the South. Our image was Robert E. Lee, the Birds of Virginia, the Calhoun. We were nice people. We were decent. We are not clowns. But this has become so ingrained. You go to you people who are not Southerners and don't hang out with this would just be amazed to see these these meetings for the ostensible purpose of defending the South, in which they invite singing groups made up of obese people in overalls to jump around the stage. If I were an abolitionist, I would just feel that. I just love it to see these people. And in our own movement, we are subject to constant psychological abuse, just as our race in general is subject to constant psychological abuse. And there is, I think, it was in my day, an idea that pervaded our cause, that we were somehow naughty, we were up to something bad, that we were in fact haters, and this sort of thing. And I think there is a danger that people will actually incorporate into their minds this stuff, and they will become what our enemies say we are. And we must guard against that. We must zealously guard against allowing our enemies to define our psychology. And I would talk a bit about that and about our enemies and who they are. And also people who aren't our enemies but are part of our people, but who are not who we are. We are abused because we live in a secular society, and in our secular society, people like you and me in this room and others like us across the world are what I call, this is not original to me, but I'm a good plagiarist, and fortunately the person who came up with this does not want to be publicly known, but it's here today. It's a wonderful phrase he came up with called secular atheists. And that's what we are. We are secular atheists. We are today like somebody in 1400 who raised his hand in Mass and said, "Hey, Father, I don't believe in the virgin birth. I don't believe in the Trinity." When you say, "I don't believe that Franklin Roosevelt left the left hand of God to come down to earth to create paradise," you have committed a blasphemy against the secular religion of this country. And when you think that race and genetics matter, these are fundamental matters that must be considered in any determination of what sound, reliable social and government policy should be. You are a secular atheist. You're just like the person raising his hand in Mass in 1400 and say, "I don't believe in the virgin birth." You are someone that they despise and hate, who is calling the question everything they believe. But does that mean you're a bad person? No. It means that we stand exactly in the shoes of Galileo. We stand in the shoes of those who have fought for our rights, with freedom, for sensible policies, for thoughtful, deliberate debate, for policies based upon fact and not upon fantasy. That is who we are. We are not marginal people. We are not haters. We are not genocidal. We are none of the things they say we are. In fact, we are the people who have the key to the future. Jared, in his talk this morning, said, we're not the government. We don't have a flag. Someone said that. We don't have a uniform. Of course, I think we do have a uniform. And we are moving into a world in which you won't have to wear a uniform to see what your uniform is. And since I believe that my race is my nation more than the geographic area that I live in, my race is my nation, and that's my uniform. And it's easily recognized, and the people who hate my uniform can spot me if I go in the wrong area of Atlanta. They'll attack me if I go out at the wrong time at night in the wrong neighborhood. And what we're moving into, everybody who has been born with this uniform already provided by nature. But we also, in some sense, are the government, because we are a tiny minority of people who think thoughtfully and soberly, who, if we had actual power over this country and this world, we would make what's often referred to in church as sound decisions for the peace and welfare of the world. A lot of you, the minority of you who are churchgoers will know that in many denominations, every Sunday that is part of the prayers that are given for the leaders of the country, and in obedience to what St. Paul said, that they pray that the leaders of the country will be led to make sound decisions for the peace and welfare of the world. And we are those people. We're the people who make those decisions. And we can show that both by reference to great events and to small events. And we can see what kind of a country and a world it would be if people like us were running this country, instead of people like the Clintons and the Bushes and the Reagans and the William F. Buckley Jr.'s and the Angela Davises and all the others who have misruled our country.